Hey guys, welcome to my second tutorial for Rome Total War modding. This is going to focus on actual unit creation. Okay, so let's just open up the file from last time. You're going to get an error message saying you can't find the texture file. Just click continue. And now this is the model from last time. You need to figure out you need to find a reference of a unit you want to create. You could draw it, you could find one on the web. For this, this is one I found. So you need to find the defining features of the unit. So obviously his helmet, it's a Corinthian. Okay, you can see it goes up a little bit. Follows the jawline, goes down, it has a little flip in the back, and follows the cranium pretty closely. Okay, and you can see how this mouth, the jaw guard works. Also, you can see his crest. We won't worry about the feathers for now. You see how his crest works. Also, he has a very slender form. You can see how his breastplate works, his pauldrons, his van braces. You can see how his skirt is goes pretty far down. It's tight-fitting, long flowing cloak, and again his legs are curved and looks very agile. And they have a piece that comes up over the kneecap. So with this in mind, you want to import this image into 3D Studio. Create a plane. Okay, draw out a plane. Now make sure it has one length and width segment. And now what you want to do is open your material editor. You can get to it from here, or press M is the hotkey. You want to find a new material. You can see this has an M in it. This is where the object material will go. Let's just select the plane. You hit the box next to the diffuse channel. Diffuse is like the color for the material. Hit bitmap, and now you need to go find your image. And now to apply it to the object, you can either press this, assign material to selection, you could just drag it in. Okay. And now you have to press show map and viewport. Will mean you can see the image. You can exit out of the material editor. But you can see it's out of scale. So to fix this, you need to apply a UV map. Bitmap fit and elf swordsman, and that will fit it to the proper dimensions. Now you could just rotate this. And you could see that they're facing the wrong way, so you could just flip this in the U direction. And now scale it. You press L to get into your left orthographic viewport. Orthographic means it doesn't distort through perspective at all. Okay, that's close enough. So now let's start modeling him. Let's start with the feet. Let's just move this away a little bit. Okay, so you can see on this guy, he looks relatively stocky. So we want to reshape him to give him some larger calves. His skirt goes down low, so let's move his legs down. We could probably thin up his entire knee area. Okay. Now we need to make his greaves. So you want to press 2 to select edges. And you want to select this edge. Hold Control, select this edge. And now you can extrude. You want to turn your extrusion base width all the way down, and you just want to get your height to 0.1 because you want to shape it yourself. Okay, that's good enough. The roundness will come through alpha channels. You can't really achieve a round edge through modeling at this stage. Okay, so now let's move up to the arms. You can see he has a very curved, bulging forearm. So we're going to need to cut in some geometry to get that bulge. So let's move this up a little bit. Now you just want to move this out, but you can see it doesn't really look proper. It doesn't look like a muscle. So what we're going to do is first you want to clean up, just select the edge and press backspace. You want to work with quads and not tris. Quads are four-sided polygons, tris are three-sided polygons. So now that is cleaned up. There are a few different ways to cut in new geometry. First you want to select the polygons you're going to be cutting. And then you can go down. The first way to do it is using the slice plane. Slice plane is going to give you a very methodical way to cut. It's literally taking a plane and slicing it through. You can see where the cut is going to happen, but it has to happen in a straight line. Okay. Also, you could use split, and that will split it into separate elements. So you slice, turn off your slice plane, and now if you press 5 to go into element, you see it's in two separate elements. The vertices are broken at that point. Again, we'll do quick slice for now. You make sure you turn off split. I'll show you how to do cut in just a moment. And that will just give you, you don't have to, you could just draw a line on the screen and it'll cut straight back through space. And the reason we got rid of these to turn into quads was so we wouldn't have to deal with the vertices that would be in the middle of the face. There's no reason for it. It's going to create a lot of extra vertices. You could probably get away with, no, you get away with nothing back here. So you just snap those and then you would weld them. And you could see it went from 2 vertices selected to weld it to the vertex number that was selected. Again, I'm pressing S to turn my snaps on and off. It's very important. And shape his wrist a little bit. Sometimes you could get away with removing this vertex over here, but for now we'll leave it. Okay, he has pretty big pauldrons that are going to cover this area, so we could get rid of this vertex. First you need to get rid of all the turn it into a flat polygon. Okay, and getting rid of all the edges. And then you would just want to select the vertex and backspace safe, remove it. Now what you have though is you have a 5-sided polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This vertex breaks this one side into 2. So you never want a five-sided. You'd rather go with a 4 and a 3. So you could just select your cut tool. Okay. This is the last way to cut a new geometry. Hit the vertex, and then just hit this one. And the same thing over here. You see how it changes when you're on a flat face, an edge, and a vertex. Oops. Okay, and now we've got rid of those polygons. Next area we're going to focus on is his torso. You could see how it curves in, and it's a lot more elegant than just this flat piece over here. So again, we're going to clean up the geometry. Select the edges, backspace, safe remove. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut in the shape of the breastplate. So it goes very high in the front, about the same height as the elbows, and it goes down, just leaves a few inches between the waist. So start from here. Oops, it didn't. There we go. And you just imagine what happens in the back. And just right click will end the tool. What happens in front though is because you're going along the geometry, you can't get this flat sort of hill. Okay, instead on the model it comes to a point. So for now we're just going to flatten it out. We'll remove it with alpha channels. Now what you want to do is you want to select these polygons and you want to detach. You want to detach it to a new object. So now what you're going to do is select these vertices. You want to make them a little bit larger. Actually, we're going to leave those alone. We're going to work on the bottom. Select the top ones. Scale them in a little bit. And deselect the middle edge ones and move these in a little bit. And now you want to select all of them and move them up. So now what you're going to see is you can adjust this bottom edge so you get these smooth curves you need on the breastplate with alpha channels, and it'll show through to the underlying chainmail texture on the torso. And also let's make him a little bit skinnier. Oh, I made him too skinny. There's just a ton of little adjustments that are going to be the difference between a high quality and a low quality model. Okay, so now we need to work on a skirt. First up here, you just want to W for your move tool and just turn on your snaps. Just want to snap these to the waist. Let's just mirror this as well. This is another way, it's sort of like using an instance, but it is, you can't work on it and update it. So, but we're not going to be working on that anymore, so it's okay. It's easier to delete. And again, just select these. The vertices on this half will all have to be adjusted at the end, but for now it's okay. And now you want to line up, you want to connect these as well. Oh, on the rear here on the legs, we want to get rid of these extra vertices. I don't know where they came from. It's just you want to try to get a 4 or 5 sided leg. He'll have a cloak in the back, so let's just collapse these. If he didn't have a cloak that would be obscuring part of that leg, I would keep that last little 5 side to flatten it out. So once again, let's go to the skirt. Now you have a hidden polygon over there. I'll show you what to do in just a second. You have a polygon with 0 surface area over here. So you just select it, see 2 vertices selected on the same vertex. This is actually still editable mesh. You want to turn it into editable poly, and you just want to weld those. And you want to do the same thing over here. Weld. Okay, so now you want to adjust this top area. Sides. Let's take a look at our image again. We can move in a little bit closer now. The sides come down along within the front. It's also pretty tight fitting. Anytime you see an edge show through, you need to just move it to get rid of it. Adjust it. You just have to imagine what happens in the back. Okay, I'm going to say this back piece goes up like this, and this piece folds under it. Now if you remember, we moved this vertex in over here. So just make sure you remember to snap that. Okay. Oops. Just make sure you snap it to the right spot. Okay. So now, except for the head, you have looks a lot closer to the, let's thin up the arms a little bit. And Push out the bicep a little bit, pull out the tricep. No, leave the tricep. Okay, and now I'm just going to take a little break and I'll come right back and model the head. But before I go, just remember to save your file, save as. I already have a second file saved from the last time I tried this tutorial. It didn't work out. The file was corrupted, so just save it as whatever name and whatever place you want. Okay, so